On today's show, Highland Racing gets back to action on the West Coast, so we will preview Tulare and Placerville. We'll recap the 64th Knoxville Nationals, plus news from Jason Myers and Ridge & Sons Racing, all on this week's episode of the High Limit Room. I'm Chase Rodman. Welcome back to the High Limit Room. We'll be joined later on by Brian Walker and Tony Laporta. Thank you so much for tuning in. After a three-week break from series action, the drivers with High Limit Racing will get back to action this weekend on the West Coast, starting this Friday night, August 15th. For the third time in series history, High Limit will stop in at Central California's Thunderbolt Raceway in Tulare, California on August 15th. Back on March 19th, Kyle Larson grabbed yet another Tulare win in convincing fashion over Brad Sweet, Rico Abreu, Corey Day, and Tanner Holmes. That was race number 2 of the 2025 season. When we go back on Friday, it will be race number 27 of the 2025 season. Larson has actually won both High Limit Racing shows contested at Tulare, including last year when he started 5th, spun out avoiding a flipping car, and was still able to get the dub. But when we show up on Friday night, he will not be in attendance due to previous NASCAR obligations, so we will be seeing a new High Limit winner at the 3/8 mile oval on Friday night. As per usual, we will be seeing all of the heavy hitters from the West Coast in the pit area, including guys like Shane Golobic, Justin Sanders, DJ Netto, Dominic Scelzi, Tim Kading, Ryan Burnell, Corey Eliason, and several others. After High Limit Racing came through earlier this year, the NARC King of the West Series had a double header back on May 17th. Those two features won by Tanner Holmes and Caden Steele, who will also be in attendance on Friday night. The track record set on back in 2018 by Brad Sweet at 12.582 seconds. And if you know anything about Tulare, you know it's a place where you got to get up on the wheel, get the elbows up, and get up next to the outside wall. That is the fast way around the Thunderbolt. We are looking forward to seeing all of our West Coast fans once again here with High Limit. Then, just one night later, we'll roll up the road 250 miles to the north to the smallest track on the High Limit Racing schedule at the Eldora County Fairgrounds. It is the Placerville Speedway on Saturday, August 16th. This is definitely a place where we could see a surprise winner pop up. Placerville hosts 360 sprint car action on a weekly basis and also sees the regional NARC 410 series and the Sprint Car Challenge Tour multiple times a year. So those West Coast guys have a ton of laps around that quarter mile. The last time we went to this track, we nearly saw a first-time National Touring Sprint Car winner when Justin Sanders finished second to James McFadden by just a few car lengths at the finish line. The greatest of all time, the GOAT at Placerville Speedway, Andy Forsberg, he ran 4th in that main event with Ryan Burnell and Shane Golobic all finishing inside the top 10. We do expect to see all of those guys in the field on Saturday for the Gold Rush Classic. And we hope to see you there as well. If you're looking for tickets, head over to highlimiracing.com and get yourself your tickets. And if you can't make it, of course, FloRacing will have the coverage. Just remember, it will be a lot earlier start time than we are normally used to seeing, as we will be on Pacific time for the next 3 weeks or so as we go to Placerville and Tulare, then the Gold Cup at Chico, and then we head up to Oregon and the 3 nights at Skagit. So if you're an East Coaster, make sure to set your alarm for High Limit Racing to a little bit earlier these next couple of races, as we will be out there on a different time zone. Now that we've got our race previews in the rearview mirror, let's take a quick recap and quick look at the 64th Knoxville Nationals and what a week it was at the sprint car capital of the world, as we saw yet another new crown jewel winner and a new 6-figure payday winning driver as well. It started off with a dominating performance from the 18-year-old Ryan Timms, making a huge statement on the Wednesday night prelim, going from 8th to the victory, passing Justin Peck around lap 10 and never looking back to become the youngest pole sitter in Knoxville Nationals history. He won the feature from 8th. He went 8th to 4th in the heat race, and he qualified inside the top 5 during the time trials as well. It was a standout performance from Ryan Timms, who has been one of the more dominant drivers this year in weekly action at the Knoxville Raceway as well. Thursday night went to Kyle Larson after he battled early with Spencer Baston and Logan Schuchart to score back-to-back Thursday night prelim night wins. And then on Hard Knocks Friday night, it was David Gravel who punched his ticket into the big dance after a flip during his Wednesday night heat race put him behind the 8 ball. He would win the Hard Knocks Friday night feature and lock in with Buddy Kofoid, who went from 19th to 2nd. Cole Macedo was 3rd. He made his first career Nationals main event. And Darren Pittman ran 4th, taking the Lundstrom Motorsports number 3 to the final lock-in spot for Saturday night. And then on Saturday, for the $195,000 to win finale, it was an ass-kicking of epic proportions by Ryan Timms. He started on the pole, led all 50 laps, and to be quite honest, the lead was never really up for grabs. Even on the restarts, there was a couple of yellow flags. There was the halfway break as well. He had Carson Macedo on his rear bumper, and every single time Ryan Timms would hit his marks in 1 and 2, and that was really all it took. The Liebig Motorsports number 10, wrenched on by car owner Shane Liebig, was incredibly strong. He would pull out to multiple 2, 3, 4 second leads at sometimes in this race. Every time there was a restart, he would pull away by a straightaway and roll through lap traffic without any issues in that main event. And in the end, he would become the youngest Knoxville Nationals winner in history, doing it in his first career A-main start. He had tried to make the A-main 2 or 3 times previous, but had never been able to punch his ticket. But this year he did it, and now he's batting 1,000 in Knoxville Nationals A-mains. 1 start, 1 win. And what's crazy, it was also his first career National Touring Sprint Car win. What a race to do it at. Congratulations to Ryan Timms, and congrats to Liebig Motorsports on an absolutely monumental victory over there at the granddaddy of them all. Now, the Knoxville drama was not over after the checkered flag flew, because on Sunday night, Jason Myers Racing announced that they would be mutually parting ways with driver Spencer Baston and downsizing to a 1-car operation for the foreseeable future. Baston, who had just made the Knoxville Nationals A-main the night previous, but it didn't really matter. The decision was already made. Baston was done. Jason Myers also announced during that same press release that Corey Day will be racing the car as his schedule allows for the remainder of 2025. At this point in time, it is still unclear if the team plans to pursue the rest of the Highland Racing season, and if that is the case, they will need to find a driver to fill in for 7 races, because Corey Day will not be able to compete due to other obligations with NASCAR and some other pavement endeavors. Those races are Skagit up in Washington, 3 nights there, 2 nights at Lernerville, and 2 nights at Lakeside that Corey Day cannot compete in. And so if the JMR 14 wants to secure a franchise position, they will need to find a driver to fill in for those 7 spots. As for Baston, from what I have been told, it sounds like he will not be on the sidelines for very much longer. His stats with Highland Racing before this change: 25 races, 1 top 5, 7 top 10s, and he was sitting 11th in the point standings after the first half of the season. Now, the final thing that comes out of Knoxville Raceway concerning high limit racing and their drivers and teams, it was announced on Monday as well that Justin Sanders will continue to fill in for Aaron Reutzel in the Ridge & Sun Racing 87 as Reutzel continues to recover from a fractured foot after the crash at Eldora Speedway. Sanders has been in that seat for the last 2 weeks at Knoxville. He finished 11th during the 360 Nationals, and he ended up 5th in the C-Main on Saturday during the 410 Nationals. The Aromas, California driver has been the dominant force on the West Coast for the last couple of years, so this certainly seems like a clear and a very smart move on the Ridge & Sun Racing part to keep him in the seat for this big stretch of races, to keep them in the points hunt. Remember, Reutzel comes in just in 3rd in points, less than 30 behind Brad Sweet and the Casey Kane Racing number 49. And so to put a guy like Sanders, who had so much success on that side of the country, in the car, it does seem like a very smart move by those guys. The article mentions from Ridge & Sun Racing that he will run definitely Tulare and definitely Placerville, but no mention of him running after that. We'll have to wait and see what the verdict is there, if Reutzel comes back or if not. But we will be curious to see how Sanders will run at those 2 racetracks coming up this weekend, driving a different car that he's ran the last couple of weeks but isn't super familiar with. But it'll be fun to see how he's able to adapt to that. Now, in our second segment of the show, Tony Laporta, who was at the Knoxville Raceway, was able to catch up with a couple of drivers who were on the sidelines with Highland Racing, Aaron Reutzel and Tyler Courtney. We know that both of those drivers will have fill-in and substitute other drivers for the West Coast swing. For Tyler Courtney and the 7BC, it's for the rest of the year with Giovanni Selzy. For Aaron Reutzel, it's for the next couple of weeks with Justin Sanders. Tony Laporta able to catch up with both of those guys and hear their thoughts and some injury updates from both of them.
Out here enjoying the Knoxville Nationals in Iowa, bumped into one of the more famous current residents of the state, Indianapolis native, resident of Newton, Iowa, Tyler Courtney. High roller, Tyler Courtney. Yep. It is great to see you. It is great to talk to you. How are you feeling?
We're getting there. It's going to be a bit of a slow process, but honestly, my pain and everything's been amazing. So, and honestly, being here is like therapy itself. So, it's been nice to be here and be around a lot of people that care about you, and it's been cool to just show my face and let people know that I'm obviously not okay, but I'm gonna be okay, right? Yeah. And it's just and I love this event too. So I'll still be here when I'm 90. So I know I'm hurt, but I don't want to miss it.
Now, you've got a very fancy piece of wardrobe on.
Oh, my jetpack.
Yes. Explain to us, what you're comfortable with explaining. Injuries sustained in Eldora.
Yes.
The steps after that to get us to here.
Yeah, so I broke my T7, and they had to go in and cut me open and put some screws in there just to stabilize me from T5 to T9. And so I get to wear this when I'm out and about. It's basically, I call it like my electric fence collar. Like when I'm out and about, I got to wear it. And then, luckily when I'm in my camper at home and stuff, like just sitting on the couch, I don't have to wear this. I don't have to sleep in it. But they just said when I'm out and about, they want me to have it on. And so I don't know exactly how long I got to wear it. I know my next doctor's appointment is about a month from a few days ago. And she just told me to, I can be out and about and walk around, but I can't lift anything, no twisting, all that kind of stuff for another month. And then go back in there and start the physical therapy process. So that'll be a long process, but I told her my goal was to be back at Volusia in February.
Yep.
And she told me that was a great goal. She said, obviously, I can't promise you that you'll be cleared before or after that, but I think that's just part of being a doctor. They're not allowed to give you false hope. So I appreciated her being honest, but she did say that she wanted me to have a goal and to have that in front of me, to have something to chase.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, Volusia is a very realistic goal.
Yeah.
To have and be able to get myself back to over 100% and be ready to come back and compete at a high level.
And the most important news is that you are here, you are okay.
Yeah.
The second most important news is that your race car is here.
Yeah.
The Clausen Marshall NOS Energy Drink 7BC is on track all week. They were on track at the 360 Nationals.
Locked into the biggest race of the year.
How has it been helping Giovanni get into the car, working with him, helping your crew with Gio? What's the whole process been like?
I think, honestly, the Gio side of things is pretty easy. He's obviously a top-notch race car driver, so I don't have to teach him much or anything like that. But I think, honestly, me just being here for my boys, and I think it's hard for me to watch somebody drive my car. I think it's hard for them to have somebody else in their car, but I think we have probably one of the best options you can have in the race car. But I wanted to be here for my boys and support them and whatever they needed. And obviously I won't get to go to all the races the rest of the year, but my plan is to show up to a few of them just to be there. And I'm still a race fan at heart, man. And but it's tough for sure. I won't downplay that at all. But I'm in no rush. I've got a great support system with everyone at Clausen Marshall Racing. I know the 7BC is not going anywhere, and I'm not going anywhere either. So it's going to take the time and get myself back to over 100% and come back and like I said, compete at a high level and try and go for. Well, we're still going for an owners championship on high limit, and that's still in full force. And that was important for us to get somebody in the car to go compete for that. And so hopefully next year I'll be back and compete for an owners and a drivers championship. I want to be a champion really bad, and I feel like we were on our way this year to really competing for it. I know last year we were competing and we kind of fell apart out west, but we were hungry to get back out west this year to kind of prove that we're the real deal and that we can win this championship.
Well, he says he wants to come back over 100%. That's kind of like me every time I step on the scale.
Yeah.
We are glad you're okay.
Yeah.
Don't laugh too hard at that, okay? We don't need your jetpack falling
no
off.
Kidding.
Tyler, super scary wreck at Eldora.
Yeah.
Thanks for talking to us. Cannot wait to see you back at the track.
No, thank you guys and all the fans watching. We appreciate everything that you guys have done for us. And even just coming up and checking on me, it means a lot. And like I've told everybody this week, I'll be back. It's just going to be a little bit.
Don't forget, it's shopsunshine.shop. Kyle Larson is selling some merchandise. High Limit will have a bucket out at the rest of their races this season where you can send money and support guys like Tyler Courtney and Aaron Reutzel. Tyler, thanks for talking.
Yeah, thank you.
Continuing to walk around the Knoxville Nationals here in the merchandise area. Just got done talking to Tyler Courtney. Very happy now to be joined by another one of our high rollers. Back on the road to 100% health. Aaron Reutzel, involved in your own very scary accident at Eldora back during Kings Royal Week. First of all, how are you feeling? How are you personally?
Now I'm feeling a lot better. The pain, a lot of the pain's kind of gone away. I don't know, just getting used to it or what. But after the surgery, it was definitely pretty painful there for a while. Had to stay elevated a lot to keep the blood out, and whatever reason that does, it definitely helps with the pain. So the start of this week was definitely rough with trying to help Justin and the race team and be down there, but it's a lot better now. I mean, definitely bummed.
Yeah.
I want to be racing. This is my favorite race of the year, so definitely bummed. It's more bummer I don't get to just go home.
Yeah.
Of course I live here, so
Yeah.
kind of a part of it, and it makes it more upsetting. But no, I mean, all in all, I think everything's going as good as it can.
What specifically, we talked to Tyler Courtney. He had a unique apparatus wrapped around his body. He called it his jetpack. You are sporting some footwear, stylish as it may be. What can you tell us about the injury sustained at Eldora? What exactly was the diagnosis and what had to happen to get you here today?
Of course, Shelby's not here. She knows the name of the bone, but it's the two really, there's 5 of them, but the long bones that go from your heel to your toes, it broke 2 of them.
Not metatarsals.
Metatarsal, yes.
Dr. Laporta.
Bam.
You're welcome.
So the way they broke off, they broke completely in half. So they had 2 of them, they had to go in and they had to plate each of them. Ended up being 2 plates, 13 screws, 5-hour-long surgery. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We had to have surgery. Luckily, Lisa Ridge, she's the CEO of a hospital we went to that had a great foot doctor specialist. So we didn't even really bother with being in Ohio. We came straight here, went to her hospital, got it all done there. So that was it. All surgery went good. It's just a matter of time now.
Yeah.
I think that's the worst part. I thought pins and screws, it's got to be stronger now, right? Let's go. But that ain't the case. Unfortunately, it's just a matter of time. I think right now to the day, they want 6 more weeks until they want me to walk on it.
Wow.
I've already asked the questions of, can I put pressure on my heel or about a little pressure on my foot? So working on maybe getting in the car sooner than the 6 weeks, but it's all just up in the air right now.
Well, it's so tough with where the schedule goes next for High Limit.
Yeah.
California is not exactly known for its glass smooth racetracks. No. So if you were eyeing a return by the West Coast, places like Tulare and Placerville and Chico are going to put a beating on that part of your body. So I guess we'll wrap it up the same way we did with Tyler. How has it been working with Justin Sanders? Your Ridge & Sons racing team is here competing, working with him, getting him in the car. Some people forget Justin filled in for you in Vegas when you got knocked out in the FK Roddens Dash. So this is not the first time you and Justin and the 87 team have all worked together.
Well, in Vegas, I wasn't around one bit when Justin drove, so I didn't see Justin until the next week. But no, it's been good working with Justin. I feel bad for him because this place is so tough, and I don't think we've had the car 100%. So, driving a car around here that's not 100% already a challenge in its own.
Yeah.
On top of this is the most challenging racetrack to race on.
Yeah.
So I feel bad for him. He has made some really good laps. He has shown signs of, kind of figuring it out, and then he'll get in a bad scenario and, kind of get in bad air and not change lanes. But just the stuff that, just racing here so much you learn.
Take laps.
He's only come here for nationals and that's tough, but he's shown a lot. We've shown some speed and just not at the right times. And, it's, kind of already too late. But, no, working with him was good. He reminds me a lot of myself, just really hard on himself and hard on himself. And he knows a lot what's going on. So, it's been good. Can't thank him enough for the 2 fill-ins now. But I wish we would have had a little better results, because I seen it in him that he had it. I just don't think we had him right early enough.
Well, we're really glad both you and Tyler Courtney are here walking around. Lernerville was very odd to not have you, Tyler, or Brad Sweet on track with us. The top 3 in our championship battle. 2 of them here at Knoxville hanging out. One of them able to be on the track. He keeps that thing on him, the Sharpie, because he's been signing autographs all weekend here in Knoxville. Aaron, thanks for talking to us. Really, really hope to see you back in the car very soon.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, High Limit. I just want to thank High Limit as well, and all the drivers and everything that's reached out, and High Limit, everything they did, and just down to support the donations, the ruling that I didn't know was there, that Sunshine didn't know was there. I'm sure Brad's the only one that knew it was there on, us not being allowed not to go to that race. So that just shows to me where High Limit is as a series, and how they look after their guys, having that rule already instated going into that year. Because, talking to Brad about it, Brad said, he's seen the deal where Macedo here got burnt and hurt himself, and he went and raced Huset's the next week.
Right.
And he didn't need to.
Talking about the provision where you guys as full-timers
and I just want to bring up that just says a lot for our series, and Brad and Kyle, that they saw that scenario happen, and they're doing is protecting us from ourselves.
Yeah.
Because Macedo got in the car and raced because he needed to. And we're going to do it. If there was no provisionals or anything, I probably would have been in the car. I know I would have been in, and I wouldn't have been comfortable with it. So they're protecting us from ourselves. And I just want to say, I know there's probably a couple people that don't get it, but that just, to me, shows where we are as a series and how they truly are worried about us as well.
Yeah.
And I just want to say thank you to the High Limit series for that.
Well, we got a delivery here for you right here. It looks like off camera.
Absolutely.
And Aaron Reutzel.
I can be on camera.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know how we are.
Look at that. It's a series of racers run by racers for racers. Aaron Reutzel's telling you about it. Aaron, we're glad you're here. He's enjoying a cold one, and we're getting ready to go to the West Coast with California and High Limit. We hope to see you out there.
Thank you.
All right, jumping into the 3rd segment of the show now, we are joined by Tony Laporta and Brian Walker, both employees of High Limit Racing. If you were not familiar, they are on the payroll. Now, let's get into this 3rd segment of the show. We're going to talk a little bit about nxtbets.com/playhlr. 2 short tracks coming up. So I feel like when there's short tracks, there could be some upset winners and whatnot. If you want to be involved and wager for real money on High Limit, go to nxtbets.com/playhlr. And while you're there, claim a sign-up bonus. You can also see which sports books are available in your region. So Tulare on Friday, Placerville on Saturday. We do not have the odds quite yet there, Brian, but one guy that really sticks out to me, knowing that he's going to be at Tulare, is going to be Corey Day. I feel like a lot of people could be wagering on him. And then the guy at Placerville, to me, that could be a little bit high in the odds, especially with the news that we saw today, is Justin Sanders. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, obviously, I think those are 2 great picks. Gio, I think as well, flies under the radar. He's won at both tracks. I know it's a new ride in the 7BC, but I think Kareem mentioned, like, Knoxville is the perfect place for Gio, Jake Argo, Ron, Bobby, Tim Clausen, all those guys to get acclimated with each other as good as they each are there. So I think the 7BC could really come out of the gates swinging on the West Coast, given everything that's happened with all our other championship contenders too. It's a great opportunity for them to come out and get some points. But I mean, beyond them, yeah, Corey Day is the easy answer, going all the way through Gold Cup too, right? He's going for his 3rd straight Gold Cup championship there. And then Tanner Holmes is leaving Knoxville with, I think, a bit of confidence as well. Now, after working with Ty Wolfgang, he said they really learned a ton about their program. So it's going to be interesting. And he won there earlier in the year, I think, with Narc, if I'm right. And then James McFadden. And with Drew Warner, the Tarleton crew at home base in California for them. He won Placerville last year. So I think there's a lot of guys you cannot count out.
Yeah, Holmes was top 5 with us at Tulare earlier this year, or make that McFadden got the win at Placerville with us last season. So definitely a couple of names to keep an eye on there for those 2 events. Tony, what are you looking forward to for Tulare? Obviously, the racing there was always spectacular. And then Placerville, you're a short track guy, I'm a short track guy. It doesn't get much shorter than Placerville Speedway, so it should be a fun weekend coming up.
Chase, I think you might have just written the new slogan on the banners and the commercials for Placerville Speedway. It doesn't get much shorter than Placerville Speedway. I like that personally a lot. And people say my attention span is short, so Placerville's perfect for that. No, I really, really love Placerville. I got a lot of heat in the old rental car last year for saying on the broadcast that I thought Placerville last fall was a really, really good race. I might have even put it up there for Race of the Year contender. And why I said that and why I'm really looking forward to going back to Tulare, back to Placerville, is because, yeah, it's awesome to watch a 900 plus horsepower wing sprint car fly around Knoxville and Eldora and Texas Motor Speedway's dirt track, Las Vegas Motor Speedway dirt track. But where I really am amazed at the talent of the guys that race with Kubota High Limit and all of the 410 wing sprint car series out there is when you can see those guys get behind the wheel of a jet fighter, right? Of an absolute speed machine like these race cars are, and they can tiptoe around a tight, short oval like Placerville, like Tulare. I watched last year James McFadden just absolutely scrape the front bumper in front of his nose wing off the rear bumper around the tail tank of, I think it was Parker Price Miller, lap after lap after lap while out in front of that race. And it's just something that you really have a hard time understanding how they do that so well. Not taking anything away from the half miles. It's awesome to see our race cars fly around those places, but I really am just amazed when I get to watch a 410 wing sprint car and a non-wing sprint car tiptoe around a short, rough, rutted out, hard to control kind of place like Placerville. That's what I'm really looking forward to. And I thought all the drivers that Brian hit on were just dead on. Super cool to see how well Tanner Holmes ran at Knoxville, and great point on getting to work with a guy like Ty Wolfgang for that short weekend and learn some stuff that Ty has obviously picked up and amassed over the years working for Casey Kane Racing and with Brad and Casey. They're going to obviously be formidable. Yeah, Gio, I called him out to run well at the 360 Nationals. I stand by that for the rest of this West Coast swing and into the end of 2025. Him and Clausen Marshall are going to be a threat every single night, wherever we are. And I agree with all those drivers Brian pointed out. It's going to be a very fun trip out to the West Coast these next couple of weeks.
It certainly will, and the series is going to look a little bit different as far as some of the drivers and whatnot. We mentioned Gio in the 7BC first race with the Clausen Marshall team with High Limit, at least. And then, Brian, it was announced Sunday night, the Spencer Baston and Jason Myers Racing news. We need to chat about that now. It's going to be weird. You know, I'm a Spencer Baston fan. I'm a Spencer Baston friend. I know you are as well, so it sucks to see that partnership come to an end. But from what I've been told, he won't be out of the seat very long, and there's some rumors flying out we could see him out there on the West Coast, but that still was not a fun announcement to read on Sunday night.
Yeah, that obviously sucks for everyone involved. I think it was truly I think one of the more amicable splits you'll ever see in sprint racing. I've even seen tweets about all these press releases, fairy tales and butterflies. In reality, everyone's talking BS behind their backs. But in this case, they're not. I know Spencer and Audrey very well, and they have nothing but great things to say about Jason Myers, Preston Cross, everyone with JMR. And the same goes for JMR on that side about Spencer and Audrey. So it sucks to see it happen. Spencer definitely won't be out of the seat very long. I wanted to ask him a question in the press conference Thursday night, just about it being, he locked into the Knoxville Nationals, amid all this going on. It was known to them that it was happening. So for all that, to be have your back against the wall like that and go out and lock into the biggest race in the world. Like, I hope that was a good reminder for him that he belongs to be in the seat of a race car. And for Jason Myers Racing, though, the press release made it sound like they're gonna try to finish the year out. It will be interesting to see with who, because I know, like, the first instance comes up, Corey can run a decent amount of the schedule, but Skagit Nationals is the first one I believe Corey can't be at. I think NASCAR's in Darlington that weekend, but that's a car and a team that's plenty capable of getting the job done. So it'll be interesting to see who they find to fill in when Corey's not in.
Yeah, they're going to have to find a driver for 7 races, according to an article put together by Sprint Car Unlimited's Jeremy Elliott. The 3 races at Skagit, 2 nights at Lakeside, and 2 nights at Lernerville as well. But Corey, from the press release, like Brian said, it sounds like they're going to run him for the rest of the high limit season with the exception of those 7 events.
On a completely serious note, when it comes to the franchise system that Kubota High Limit Racing sat down and talked to all the owners about in Knoxville this past weekend, those are some serious numbers that car owners, Jason Myers included in that group, are not going to want to miss their opportunity to get their share of those big time numbers. So it is going to be very interesting because, as we all know, with High Limit, it's not a driver based championship when it comes to those franchises and how that money gets dispersed. It's all about the car and the respective car numbers. So they could have 7 different drivers in that car for those 7 different events that Corey Day can't be at. And as long as the 14 from Jason Myers Racing continues to run well and pick up points and get into, what is it, Brian, one of those 6 positions that a franchise position is up for grabs in, the 14 from Jason Myers Racing has to run well. It's all up to the car and the number, not one individual driver.
Yeah, as of right now, they sit 11th in the points, but the better they do, the better they can maybe get up in that franchise order for a better one. Now, one other team that is having some things going on here is Justin Sanders. He will be running for Aaron Reutzel, at least for the first 2 races, according to the press release put out by Ridge & Sun Racing at Tulare and Placerville. It is yet to be known what will take place after that. I did text with Aaron Reutzel today. He said that he will be there helping the team out, and then we'll see what happens after Placerville. But, Brian, I was trying to think of guys that could fill in for that car on the West Coast, and it's really hard to think of somebody better to put in the car than Justin Sanders. He's got so many wins on that side of the country. He's ran for points out there with NARC and won a championship, so he knows how to race for points. Could you think of anybody else better to put in that car than Justin Sanders?
If we're looking for momentum, can we put Ryan Timms in? What's he doing?
Ryan Timms would be good, yeah.
Yeah, no, but as far as for what we have coming up at Tulare and Placerville, yes, I agree. Justin Sanders. I'm a little surprised it happened, I guess, maybe because I just assumed Justin wouldn't leave the 2X for those races, right? Like, obviously he's not leaving them for good. But him and Demo Mitri have built an incredible package for just the 2X at those tracks. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how the 87 turns out as far as maybe what Justin likes, since he's ran those tracks so much and he knows what he likes in his car, or if he leans on Aaron to know what the 87 will feel good with. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. But like you said, the 87 with that car and that driver in that state should be a great combo. And I know Aaron wants to get back in the seat as soon as possible. And the press release only said, for now, Tulare and Placerville, right?
Yeah, that's what it said.
Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see who we get for Gold Cup, I guess.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, and it's interesting dynamic there because Reutzel will be there at the track, and Justin Sanders throughout the year plays as his own crew chief. Aaron does the same thing on his car, so to have them both kind of having that dynamic will definitely be interesting. Obviously, Sanders ran the last couple of weeks at Knoxville, so that'll be fun to watch, and then Gio will jump into 7BC first race with High Limit as well. So let's jump into Knoxville Nationals, Tony. We were all there, you, myself, and Brian, and it was crazy to watch Ryan Timms this weekend. Complete domination. He waxed their ass. A lot of people put belt to ass, whatever you want to say. I mean, he absolutely smoked those guys in a regional base car. I think that was one of the coolest parts of it. It wasn't a team that we see win big races all the time, but Ryan Timms, Shane Liebig, I don't think that anybody had anything for him on Saturday night.
No, here's the thing. I love racing because of the competition and the impact drivers can have, right? It's driver against driver. It's team against team. Well, Saturday night at Knoxville, the phrase that sometimes I really get annoyed by popped up, and it could not have been more accurate. I get annoyed when I hear this sometimes, but this weekend, Saturday night, for 50 laps in Knoxville, Iowa, this was the most accurate phrase ever, and it was that Liebig, number 10, was the best car in the state of Iowa. Nobody could have prepared, built, had a better car on racetrack. Now, that's not to say Ryan Timms didn't drive a perfect race and do everything he did. He started on pole, which might sound easy, and he just, he gets the inside front and he can take off and there's nobody in front of him. He has all those sharks swimming right behind him. Logan Schuchart, hashtag no pun. But man, they just nailed the setup on that race car. I mean, from the word go at the initial green flag, they were shot out of a cannon, and it didn't change after the halfway stop. It didn't change after any of those yellows that happened during the race. I mean, he had a perfect race car, it looked like. And I didn't get a chance to listen to a lot of the interviews. I was making my way back to the front stretch from the back stretch. I don't know what he talked about in his post-race, but I'm sure that he acknowledged how comfortable that race car was to drive and how good it felt underneath him. Super cool to see. Ryan Timms is an awesome young racer. I had the fortune of getting to know him and work with him a little bit in 21 when we were both doing USAC. And, man, super happy for Ryan Timms. Very well earned, very well fought for. That team just prepared a race car that was flawless that entire race. That was unlike anything I've ever seen in any racing. So dominant, so far out in front of the rest of the field.
Yeah, crazy to think that it was his first ever World of Outlaws win. I mean, just to win it at the Nationals, I mean, might as well do it there. No better place. And it's cool to see another new Crown Jewel winner, another new six-figure payday winner as well. We've seen a lot of those coming up here. Brian, another cool thing with the Timms win is I don't know if there's any other drivers we've seen win a race of this caliber, and we've seen his progression from when he was 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. We've been watching the shootout. We've been watching him at the shootout for years and years and years, and watching his career progress all the way through the midgets and running his own sprint car and stuff. I would have to think that this is the first time we've seen a kid that we've watched since he was in junior sprints or whatever, and watched him on streaming all the way to this point. He's come a long way in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, as far as like, I think the streaming point's a good point. Like, he's the first kid that we've seen kind of grow up in front of our eyes. Like, you especially being in California, as well, but like, I remember seeing Kyle race micro sprints, but like, that was in person in the late 2000s. Donnie, well before my time, David, well before my time, at least out east. So, I mean, yeah, really, he grew up in a sense in front of the majority of the country's eyes. I shared like the video it was only 8 years ago that I interviewed him after a junior sprint win when he was 10 years old. And then he went on to win the shootout that year in junior sprints. But yeah, it's crazy to see. Like, that's insane to think about. 18 years old and you win the biggest race in the world. I asked him later that night, at like, I don't know, 3 a.m. I was like, do you have any idea of like the magnitude of what you just did? And he said, not yet. No, he knows he said, I know I just won the coolest race in the world. That's about it. So that'll be cool to see sink in over time and, really just see where he goes from here.
Yeah, definitely a long and successful career ahead of him for sure. Now, some other storylines that came out of Knoxville, Tony. How about Donnie Schatz? 27 years in a row making the A-main, and he waited until the last minute. I think he passed Chris Windom with 2 laps to go in the B-main on Saturday. Not going to lie, I was on my feet on the last lap cheering on Donnie Schatz because I just feel like the Knoxville Nationals A-main would not be the same without him. 27 years straight for the TSR 15. That was one of the feel-good stories, I think, of the week. Because he struggled. He struggled all week long until then.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I don't think it's unique perspective that I have. Last year I got to go to the Knoxville Nationals, and I was contracted out by Tony Stewart Racing and Misha to do Donnie's videos. And I got to make their nightly recap and their daily hype videos, looking into each night of the Nationals. And it was, similar because he had to run. He won Hard Knocks Night on Friday of last year, and that didn't even, it didn't even go that well this year. And so, no doubt they struggled. We know that. The whole world seems to know that. And I promise you, Donnie Schatz and that team know that. What are they going to do to fix it? I don't know. I'm excited to see because there's not a name in, I think, our lifetime that is more synonymous with sprint car racing. Still active, still racing, than Donnie Schatz. I love him. He is such a genuine dude. I don't know if you guys saw the video. I believe Kyle McFadden with Flo got a really good video of Donnie standing outside the race car Friday night after failing to lock in to the Knoxville Nationals and knowing what he would have to do on Saturday with all that pressure. And he's drenched in sweat because it's Knoxville in August and we were all drenched in sweat. But he had just gotten out of that race car. He had done his debrief with his team. And then he stood outside of that open trailer in the infield and he had the typical long line of autograph seekers. And he didn't run and hide. He didn't make excuses. Donnie Schatz stood in the infield and signed for people who were excited to see him, who were grateful to meet him. And I think he's just one of the best parts of sprint car racing. It was awesome. I felt terrible for Chris Windom and Jason Sides, but think about it. What are you going to do with Donnie Schatz on your tail tank with 2 to go and a restart at Knoxville? I mean, tell me who's going to hold him off? I don't know. So, maybe Ryan Timms that night, but that's it. So, that was great to see, and I really, really, really look forward to seeing what they're going to do to get that 15 car pointed in the right direction the rest of this year.
Chase.
Yeah.
Donnie Schatz has never missed the A-Main in my lifetime. There's never been a Knoxville Nationals in my life that he hasn't been in.
What was the first year he did make? What, 97?
97 was the last time, yeah.
So I was 3 years old, so.
How about the quote he gave? I think it was Wade. I don't know if it was Wade or Connor right after that. Yeah, the kissed on the ding dong by a fairy. I mean, wow, that's a t-shirt. I think that's a shirt waiting to be made. Chase, you could make a whiteboard video ranking all the sound bites from Knoxville. And
Swindell had a couple good ones.
Man, what'd they say? What do you say if we traded cars?
If we switched cars, I'd beat his ass.
Yeah. So,
it was on a shirt Saturday night at Dingus. I was at Dingus at the bar with David, and a fan walked up, and it was already on a shirt. And I was like, "Oh my god, that was fast!"
I saw, because they had them made obviously going into Saturday, and the only bigger flex that fan could add is if he would have walked up to David and asked him to sign it. But
he did sign it. He did.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh man, I gotta get a Walkipedia shirt signed on the West Coast Swing. That's pretty. That'd be the next best thing. That's pretty crazy.
That's savage by that fan. Donnie Schatz would go on to run 11th in the A-Main. Rico Aber was the best finishing national touring driver. He ran second in the feature. David Gravel 21st to third. Carson Macedo fourth. Logan Schuchart ended up in the fifth position. And there were 4 new drivers. I don't know what the record is, Brian. You might know this, but 4 new drivers to make the Saturday night A-Main. We already talked about Ryan Timms. Garrett Williamson made it as well as Cole Macedo. And maybe the biggest, craziest, wildest guy to make it was Cameron Martin. 30 career 410 sprint car starts, and the driver from Ankeny, Iowa, made the show. That was one that I don't think anybody was expecting to see that. We knew we were going to see a surprise, but I don't know if anybody had Cameron Martin as the guy to do it, but that was really awesome to see that take place, Brian.
Yeah, it was cool. I think every couple of years you get those sleepers like that. It made me think of Tasker Phillips a few years ago when he locked into. And that's the beauty of the Knoxville Nationals too, really. Chili Bowl too a little bit, but Knoxville more so maybe because of the points and everything, is that obviously we all go there to see who's going to win the Knoxville Nationals and put their name in history forever. But you also go there for guys like Tasker and for Cameron Martin and for Jack Anderson to see who these lower butt guys who can make a name for themselves. So that's such a cool, unique part about Knoxville, and we got to see it on full display this year. It was awesome.
Yeah, it really was, and he would go on to run 13th in the A-Main, a great run for that that Iowa-based team there. So I did want to wish well wishes as well to Brian Brown, who got into a scary accident in his heat race earlier on in the week, as well as Justin Whittle, who got in a crash on his prelim night as well. Brian Brown, it looked like, had a broken hand or a broken wrist. We did see Justin Whittle walk around on Saturday night as well, but well wishes to those guys after a couple of big crashes. Yeah, Knoxville Nationals, I would say, was a success. I was there every single night. I think they announced it was the largest Wednesday night crowd they'd ever seen in the history of the event in 64 years, so that was really cool. I think, Tony, overall, the entire thing with Tim's winning it, I just think that it was a huge win for sprint car racing this weekend. I mean, I saw freaking Denny Hamlin was tweeting about the Knoxville Nationals. There was a lot of eyes on it, and it was cool to see, a young kid, maybe nobody expected to win. It just seemed like a very good week for sprint car racing as a whole.
Yeah, I agree completely, and I said this over very loud music at Dingus, and then that raging techno DJ party after the feature on Saturday. Brian, I saw you getting down. I know you were dancing around a few folks Saturday night, early Sunday morning. I was farther in the back, doing my notes, preparing for this show at 3 a.m. that night. And I told somebody, I said, think about it. The two major crown jewels of the sport, the Kings Royal and the Knoxville Nationals this year, were both won by non-regular full-time series drivers. Macri at the Kings Royal, and then Ryan, flying Ryan Timms, if you know him that well, at the Knoxville Nationals. And I think it'd be really easy, especially for us at High Limit, to be like, oh, that's not, I think it's great. I think it's a good sign for sprint car racing that these drivers and these teams and these cars who are not full-timers are out there competing at the highest level, at the biggest parts of our sport. And Macri and Ryan Timms and other non-full-timers are running as well as they are. I think it's a very good thing. I know everybody, kind of wants to see their series as regulars do well. Yeah, so do we. Rico running second, being the highest finishing national full-timer, was cool. But it's a good thing, I think, for sprint car racing that the competition is so healthy, teams are running so well, and there is so much money in the sport right now that these non-full-timers can elect to be non-full-time, not get the benefits of tow money and the show-up money and all this, and they can go out there and beat the full-timers. I think it's a very good thing for sprint car racing right now.
Yes, certainly a lot of parity in the sport right now. Ryan Timms taking $195,000 to the bank. Next year, the event will pay $200,000 to win for the 65th edition of the Knoxville Nationals. We're already looking forward to it, but we're also looking forward to High Limit Racing getting back to action on Friday at Tulare and Saturday at Placerville. Then it's another $100,000 to win race at Gold Cup and $126,000 to win at the Skagit Nationals, which we have not mentioned that race got bumped up about $20,000 worth of pay as well. So we hope to see you there. If you cannot make it, make sure to watch on FloRacing. If you do plan on being there but don't have your tickets, go to highlimiracing.com and go to the ticket tab. Tony and Brian, thanks for jumping on. We'll see you guys on Thursday, preparing for a big West Coast swing. Thank you all for watching the High Limit Room. We'll talk to you guys next week.